Tory. You logged in. Auth guest. Enter query to active access archived footage. Query history. Settings. Okay, as nice as this looks, I think this is better. This is stylish and nice, but clips. Alright. I guess we search murder first. Read me. Introduction to the Logic Database. Computer technology is the backbone of the modern police work. One of many ways, many continuing efforts to digitize our workflow and preserve evidence in a manner which will allow you to work more efficiently. This database contains footage transferred from this existing homicide and serious crime tape at Portsmouth. It has been automatically sorted using our ASR technology. A statement may be into business sorted separately so they can be tagged for submission in court. The audio has been digitally stenographed and is the content of the summary attached to each clip. Type in a search word into the search field, click search, and we will return all the clips. If you're working from a transcript, you can use inverted commas. They're called quotation marks. To search for an exact match. Yes, I was there. To store a clip, click add to session. You should add tags, clicking user tags. Okay. Really read me. Hey, here's the database. I filed a Freedom Information form to get you guest access. Everything seems to work. They transferred in the videos of the original tapes in 1999, and then the Y2K thing hit and they got mothballed. No one has touched them since. Couldn't find the server with detectives footage on. Probably those tapes got damaged when the old archives flooded. I figured this would be enough. Take your time. Mirror game. I love it. I love it. Player one's turn. Okay. Am I red? Player two's turn. Oh, I'm not good. I'm gonna place it here. And I'm gonna be like, psych! Why can't I place it? Isn't it 5 in a row? I don't understand how mirror game works. Oh, you have to mirror? No, these aren't mirrored. So I don't know. I have a line of 6, so I don't understand this mirror game. Thank you, Mephisto Mori, by the way, for the bits. Alright, search term. Murder. What is the background color called? If it has no name, I vote to call it Childhood Nostalgia Cyan. Yeah, I'm good for that. I'm good for that. Yeah, I like this visual style, but this is nicer. Okay, let's start looking at the videos.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help? Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Simon. Why do I have...
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
I don't know if I need this for tags, really. I think I can just search for it without it showing up.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
Okay, let's find out about Simon.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
How do we tag this? I guess job, glass, mirror. Do we just add all of them? That's store clip for later reference.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Okay, description. Holiday photo. Good tags for that, I think. Do I need to save them? I might not need to.
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Okay, Peter, Susan, Helen, Rockington.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
Computer, Amstrad, games. If I'm gonna save every clip I have, I feel like I'm doing this wrong.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Accident. Best detectives on the case. I like to think so. I like to think so. Thank you, Everlasting Clips. Right, let's find out about Helen.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said.
Argument?
He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
Helen. Jealousy? Argument.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
Okay, argument, Eric. But I don't know why I need tags though, to be honest, because I think like if I search for anything like she says, it'll show up. But I guess it's good to know what the video are about just from a quick look. Damn it. If I just click them, you know? Why does it say help?
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
Oh, yeah. So this is obviously later. This is on the 27th of June. So this is on the 18th. And this is like, 9 days later, and this is even later than that.
There's no couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
All right.
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
Never runs off. I don't know. I don't think I should be adding everything.
Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
Argument 8 o'clock. Eric.
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
I think I'm gonna need to start adding to session stuff that is deliberately useful and not just everything I have. Like, this is her realizing it's a murder. This is that it.
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was month.
Yeah, okay, fine. This was that he had a job going on, right? Or that's what his job is.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass.
No, I did. Oh, I can't actually remove something from this session anyway, so I guess I'll just go.
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
Car. Cavalier. Van Eric.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
Visa. This is later again.
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Eric, wife, Diane. So the thing is, I can search and I can find. Why does she have a guitar? I can find more than 5, but it only shows 5.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
Diane, nice. Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Simon's watch.
They found the watch.
It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift.
Whoa, that's a lie.
It would have been Diane who chose
Wait, no,
it.
that's not a lie.
It has
Never
really
mind.
nice taste.
That's not a lie. Never mind.
That time. You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
When were you in Glasgow?
Yeah, that's Simon's watch.
Well,
It was a gift
subtitles
from
not doing so
Eric.
good.
He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time. You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
That time you were in Glasgow? Well, when he got the watch? Or the time on the watch?
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
Jesus. Bordip? Bordip? Is that an achievement? I didn't see anything. Anyway, fennel. Dinner. Did I misspell Diane? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Diane's. Guitar.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Simon, Eric, argument. Alright, where to go from here? We've gone for basically people. You can check Peter and Susan, I guess. Yeah, that's just been mentioned. No, that's That feels like a nothing thing. What about the rock?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
I'm gonna not add that because I don't think I should add everything.
No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from the Rock.
Plumber. Weeks ago. Well, add that. Because that could be something. I don't suppose you have more than one plumber. No. Okay. Weapon! Well, we've already seen that one, I think. Yeah.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Come back and stay might be something. Maybe, probably not.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
Thank you, Penguin.
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding.
Jeez, they were 17.
Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Huh. Shotgun wedding. Or just that shotgun, I guess. Then, bridesmaid? 17. Jesus. Do you see that you beat Bree and Golfie? Well done, Fecky. Well done.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist.
What the fuck?
I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks, in alleyways.
What?
I was 17.
Things have changed a lot.
It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us.
Hannah. Who is
I had
Hannah?
struck when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. The If anything, I was getting skinnier. Found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
Okay. Split personality thing going on? Hannah. Split sex? Huh. Alright. Time to search for Hannah. How many entries found? 18!
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street. What are you doing talking about Eve?
I wonder if that's Morse code. Eve. Morse code? Let's write down then. I mean, I don't think it's Morse code. Because there's no shorts. They're all I think I'm looking into it too much. It could be numbers.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Oh god, it's like 413441154. That's hard. I don't know if that's all of them. That might not be right.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Huh.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Was that her lying when she said Hannah Smith? Maybe her name is Eve.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. but I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Right.
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. It was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
Okay. Can we search multiple terms? We can.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
Huh. Life attic.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
Okay. I need to figure out my tags better. I will tag this Eve childhood. Because this is not useful for me. I'm just adding everything. I'm watching everything and giving it a tag. I don't think I'm actually doing any good. But I can't get rid of them, right? Once I've added it, I can't... Yeah. Can't get rid of them. Southeast Kasab DB checker. What the hell is this though? Okay, so maybe something is missing in the database. 1606. What's wrong? Oh, that's the date. Okay, of course. I wonder if this is the year 16. I think it's probably 2016. Because otherwise it would be in the future.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
Maybe Hannah also wanted to be a widow? Or Eve thought that Hannah should be a widow?
No. It was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Yeah, I should be doing better with my tags. But that was where she got her name from. I guess it's also childhood, sort of. Okay, if I type childhood, I'll get a lot of the ones. The problem is I'll get some I've tagged. And that might be more, because it's 5 maximum. If I tag everything with the same name, I can't find it anymore.
Childhood
This is
sweetheart.
Hannah.
Something like that. Are you married, detective?
Something like that. I'm gonna not at that.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match.
What? Why?
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck frozen peas up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
This is pretty crazy. Nothing from motive. Where do we need to go from here? Type in Eve, how many do we get? 10. Some we haven't seen.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. I mean, we made up afterwards. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
She seems to be putting all the bad things and all the evil things in her life she's doing on Eve. I mean, obviously still not clear. Like, my obvious theory right now is that there is no Eve. Like, it's all Hannah, and she's just imagining Eve. But maybe there is an Eve. I don't know. You know. Okay.
My mother called me Eve.
Oh, that was a simple one. I mean, Florence called you Eve, not your mother. We need to narrow it down with Eve. Murder. No. What do I... What is ultimately the goal I want to do? There's 61 clips of Simon. Did I search Eve Simon? Yeah, I did, right? I haven't seen all of Eve's clip yet, where Eve is mentioned yet. Can I search for both? I think I have done this actually. Yeah. Eve Eric. No. I want to find out more Eve ones, because we can only see 5. So what else could they talk about? Because apparently not murder. So Eve hate, Eve love, Eve sex, slept. I feel like that was a different thing, maybe. Eve. Fight. Run away. Run.
Really? Go on then. Take the cup. Run your fingerprints. They'll match. Fucking idiot. Fine. I've never had my fingerprints taken before. I once put my hand on the oven. Fingerprints. Yes, yeah. I would have cleaned them. I changed the sheets too. Were the fingerprints in all those places? Could they have been my parents' fingerprints? I'm not sure how long they last for, but is that possible?
All I have is finding new phrases to search for. I don't have like any way to go, aha, but that's a lie or anything. All I can actually do is search for a phrase and see a video. That's all the interaction I have. As much as I like understanding and finding out what's going on, I keep feeling like I'm supposed to, like in Ace Attorney, match 2 clips together and say, contradiction or something, but I don't think that's it. My theory so far is that Hannah and Eve are the same person, that Eve did die when she was born, and Hannah has basically made her up as a second personality in her head. And so she has all the stories where she has split her mind into Hannah and Eve. And Eve is the one who does bad things, and Hannah is the one that does good things. So she blames a lot of what's happened badly on Eve. And then at a certain point, Eve didn't like Simon. So Eve murdered Simon. That's my theory so far. All right. The stuff about the fingerprints, though, I wanted to find out more, but they just There's nothing really that hit me here.
Fine. I've never had my fingerprints taken before.
That was 25. That is 30. No, stop doing that. That was the first time I was fingerprint sight. It's fine. But even if you haven't played the game before, in general, I think this is a game where it's hard for me to know if you have played it before. So if you guys try to sort of give me advice when I don't ask for it, I don't know if that's from someone who's played it before or someone hasn't. There may very well be moments later on where I am curious, and I think I'll ask then. I'll be like, all right, guys, do you have any idea for what to search for? I'll ask, you know. But for a while, I'd like to try to do this on my own. Okay, beat. Yeah. We only had one weapon, right? Yeah. Missing.
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I know it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now he's...
Alright, I'll search for Glasgow.
I got in
That's
the
a
car
lot.
and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
There's 10 entries for Glasgow too.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back.
I really feel like she did something in Glasgow.
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
I'm gonna search pregnant and baby eventually, but do you have anything on Eve in Glasgow?
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married. Yes, I'm fine.
So if she's already...
I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
So she got pregnant first, and then Simon and she's like, oh, she gotta get married. So they get married when she was 17. But she doesn't talk about a baby, so miscarriage? Adoption?
Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant. It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
And you think you're Rapunzel?
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. The miscarriage and then my parents. Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage, the worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Did the miscarriage, like, spark Eve's reemergence? Maybe? I've not been tagging and adding stuff because I feel like I wish I could delete.
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications. Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
I don't think Eve liked that Hannah's life was going somewhere.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. from that one time. When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
What was the other one? What did she say?
Hannah was so smitten.
Rules and Carl. Yeah.
Okay.
Eve talks about
She's being chased.
Hannah a lot. Hannah barely
We're
ever
trying to
talks
catch her
about Eve.
because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity.
Yeah. Maybe they think you did it, Hannah, but it was Eve.
I don't know.
But really, you were the same person.
It just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things. And we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them. It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before.
Yeah, so she has Eve has motive for Simon because basically Simon took Hannah away.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15. No, I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Yeah. There's a lot of if you don't know by then, there's a lot of clues about Eve.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
I think that's Eve. They talk differently. Eve and Hannah talk differently.
Differences?
The actress is asking
She's
different.
a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though I was always the one who seduced the boys.
Jesus Christ.
Until Simon.
Alright, that's all for Carl.
No, he was as shy as me. I asked a friend to ask him out for me.
Eve.
We had our first date at the Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress.
Yeah.
Simon paid. He bought me a Whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth.
Makes sense. They went to see Tom Cruise at the Odeon. That's true.
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that.
One of the big ones.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
I guess you didn't like the present? We'll search for present.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved the presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday, then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
You drove to Glasgow.
A week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
Okay.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
So on the 27th, she found the body. Right? So it was way later she found it, yeah.
Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it. The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear. Really? Okay. Here's the rest.
They laid a body on the dock tonight. Oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair.
Okay.
Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breast bone. Oh, the wind and rain.
Bit of a dark song.
Is a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the wind and the rain.
don't really do anything with them, Rohan. You basically just read. All I can do for option is search for clips and then like save clips and tag clips. I don't actually do anything with them.
Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
Okay, that was interesting.
Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was prettier. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
And you didn't like that anymore? Okay.
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf. Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar. You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street.
There were two sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh,
Sure, that's a coincidence that that's the song she picked, I'm sure.
see, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain. With a pretty little face and a long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swans. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
Well, she did continue. I keep getting bloop sounds, but I don't know where are my achievos? I don't see them. No, I've got it. There we go. I've got a couple. All right.
He has a wallet, a huge, silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. Offsets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before when he comes in, if he's in the house. Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
Rapunzel.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me.
Yeah, I have my wallet in the front pocket as well.
Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
Rapunzel's your favorite because it reminds you of Eve, like someone locked away.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
I'm gonna search for blonde next.
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour.
I also want to
Shiny
search for
pages.
wig.
At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper.
At a certain point, she said that if you had to go out, you had to wear a wig.
Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Yeah, 7 entries to that.
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig?
Blonde.
No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
Eve has worn a wig.
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but
Yeah,
it could be
blonde wig.
anything. Have you looked at the cat flap? This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing and she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Well, that's a pretty big deal. I hadn't added a clip in so long.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
Yeah, and then he gave one to Eve as well.
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. Haven't looked at it since. Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection. Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books. I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Whoops.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
I mean, Eve says that Hannah killed her when she was pretending to be. What's such pretend?
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic. I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Like yours? Or like Eve?
My name? That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
Yeah, because your name isn't Hannah, it's Eve.
Yes. I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
Hello. Oh, I couldn't type anymore. I don't think I'm done yet. I mean, we know that Eve or Hannah says that Eve or Hannah killed it with a...
My name. Yes. My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
See, I want to find out more from the detector test. What happens if I say, yes, I'm done? What? She's my mom? Wait, is this ending the game? I don't want to end the game yet. I want to find out more. Is that Simon? What happens now? No, I don't want to be done yet. I don't think we're done at all. Like I got to the actual kill. I don't feel I'm anywhere near choice. Near done, I mean. Yeah, like I did not. Yeah, I guess it's interesting to know that I am the child. I am Sarah. Christ. Okay. Luck.
Like I said, I think I was popping out to get something, ran out of something, had to grab something. I sometimes drive too fast. If you want, you can arrest me for that. It's like I told you before, I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
Interesting. So before Hannah told that story that she drove and then she tried to call Simon and then she came back. But now I assume this is Eve. This is Eve because she's talking about Hannah. But Eve said she couldn't be pregnant. Great spelling. $271.
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
I think I searched for apostrophe,
No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
and that's why I have so many.
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the Glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
Where do I go from here?
On his throat. How?
Slashed with a mirror.
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead.
I mean, I have the murder now. Eve says that Hannah did it.
It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me.
See, I didn't see this when I started to pretend, so that it was pretend dead.
She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
See, I think she's probably lying. Almost certainly, right? I think it was Eve that killed him.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos.
Well, the miscarriage
There's a
was the
scar
first one.
Down
The very
here
first
near
one where
his
they were
stomach,
17.
past his hip.
Like right now, she's pregnant with
Some
me.
glass. That was before. A long time ago.
Like in these videos, she's pregnant with me.
Looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV. his clothes. That would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
I guess this is the ones I've seen. SB. I've already seen all of these. I'm pretty sure this. I want to narrow down mirror.
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock. Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records? Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today. And that was
Did she
weird.
take? She should take
Many
sugar.
People have been there.
Like she's taking a piece of sugar. Last time it was no sugar, please. I'm sweet enough
Fine.
as is. So
Considering.
maybe Eve takes sugar and Hannah doesn't, or vice versa.
I got back into the house today, and that was weird.
Or she just changed her
Knowing
mind.
People have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So, no. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen, you can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think I was asked. It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck. Suicide? No. I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself?
Yeah.
No.
The little investigative part.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm quite a private person and I didn't want to get into the detail of the argument. No! You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys.
Well, I mean, Eve.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life? I mean, isn't that private? Are you married? How is your sex life?
Anyway, how's your sex life? Oh, hi, Mark.
So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
Already with sex life. No, same. Stranger? No, it's the same thing she mentioned earlier. Okay. I had alibi. It wasn't much of a search, right? No, it's the same one. Glasgow we've searched for before. There are more though. Can we search for Glasgow Drive? No. Call? I wish I knew how to narrow it down further. Well, Eve says that she was boiking a lot because she was trying to get pregnant as well. Because they wanted to be she wanted to be a mirror.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I slept through it. The police said it was mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognize them. And there's no way he would have picked death caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one...
I think one of the mistakes I make is I think of this session I think of, oh, she's always talking as if she is Eve. But I don't think so, because she's talking about here.
I was
Oh,
living in the attic.
because now I'm living in the attic
It was a very hard time.
and STDs that should
I was
be
depressed.
talking as if she
Was
is.
still pretty sick of
Eve.
the STD. When I came down one morning,
But then she's talking about mom and dad.
they were dead.
But that's supposed to be Hannah's mom and dad, not hers. Though I mean, again, I think they're the same person, and they're supposed to be twins. So the mom and dad. Well, no, okay, fair enough. Earlier on, she did talk about mom and dad, but she's also called Florence mother, which I guess is different than mom and dad.
At the time, they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something.
It's only Eve that was home.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone, and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
I wish I could limit my search to like time, you know, or whatever. Like I would like to hear anything you said about Simon in this time. Like honestly, logically, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Like if I would just like if this had been a logical game, or you know, a realistic game or whatever you want to call it, you just watch the entire tapes in chronological order, walk from start to finish. But obviously, that wouldn't be much of a game then. I gotta BRB real quick. Back in like 3 minutes. Think the chronological version is on YouTube somewhere? Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that once I'm done with the game. But I still want to try to get as much of it as I can, just from like searching.
Okay. There's a girl, and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real life fairy tale.
Oh, what is that? Chivo? %50 of the database. Okay. Which means I've seen half of the clips. My god. There's so much left.
Yes, like a story.
I mean, again, I don't think I need to see all of them. I
And an end.
basically hit the point where I can find, but
Yes, like a story. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends. Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you? Okay. So you want to eliminate me as a suspect? That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once.
maybe they are twins for real, though. But I don't think so.
When you suspect someone of murdering their husband. This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. They say you've been asking a lot of questions about me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
That is 207. That's later. And this is the day after, yeah.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. I hoover my dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase.
I guess Doug and
It's a
Eleanor
fresh
is
pack.
Simon's mom and dad.
I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
I mean, you can find out if someone smokes. You'll smell it on them, probably. Well, maybe not,
Okay.
if they do it properly.
A parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer.
Yeah.
I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in, Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough? Yeah. 1984 was an awful year in the end.
Hey, I was born that year.
We were living at
I'm
Doug
good.
and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
I feel like there's something more to it. But we have found Eve saying that Hannah did it, but we haven't found, like, Hannah confessing. So Eve could entirely be lying.
When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but
Whoops, I just searched for that.
yes. I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key. No, I don't think it was. I turned the key, but it was already unlocked.
Okay. Chat. This is official me asking. Do you have a good idea for a few search terms to try? If you have finished the game already, maybe don't give me like the exact most important ones, but maybe a couple of things that lead me toward it. For those of you who haven't played it before, I'm open to suggestions. What you think would be a fun thing to search for? To try to find out more. I've got to the credits, so technically I've beaten the game, but, you know, I want to find out as much as I can. So I'm open to some suggestions to where to go from here. Nothing? All right. Fine. I guess I'll do it on my own. Thanks, chat. Jeez. Did I ever search for motive? Yeah, I did, but I didn't find anything. Would all work? I mean, we searched clothes before. She was mentioning it. Yeah, we've got all the ones for clothes, I think. I think I searched for family. No, I didn't search for family, apparently. There was one more.
Yeah, when I was at school.
Hey, Waka.
I worked part-time in the front shop.
Thank you for
Sort of an
subscribing.
extended family thing. My dad used to work there. My mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till. And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children.
She did mention
Simon
performing.
was
Yeah.
quiet. More
Came back
thoughtful
from
than the
performing.
boys.
I wanted to find out more about the
Yeah,
wig,
he had a sense of craftsmanship.
but I've searched for what I could
Wasn't
with the
always
wig.
rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. Yeah.
Eric is is Simon's boss.
He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river. And
Will
then
you
there
wear
was a
wigs?
church there.
I've never had a reason to.
And I probably well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street.
But
There
you know,
it is.
wigs are like super common
Yeah,
actually.
so I'm pretty sure it must be this one.
Like half
There.
the celebrities you ever see in Hollywood are wearing a wig at the time.
I don't know if anyone really changes.
That's why their hair can always look the same.
Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed. There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things. Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins?
So she's pretending she doesn't exist. Twin and twins is probably the same, yeah. It's a detective game, Waka, basically. I have hundreds of clips that I can find by searching the keyword. And my job is to figure out enough keywords to search, because I can only ever find 5 entries at a time. Like if I search for apostrophe, I found 271 clips, but I can only see the first 5. So I have to figure out the exact keywords fine so I can find all of the clips. Now, I don't need to find all of the clips. I found half of them at the moment, and I have found enough to finish the game, quote unquote, and see the credits. But there's more I haven't found yet, and I feel like there's more questions about the story I want to find out. Have you not seen the Will You Ever Wear Wigs video? I don't think so. Huh. It's really interesting, actually. Like it's frustrating wanting to find out more and not knowing where to search, but piecing together the story was great. It honestly gave me a very Return of the Obra Dinn feel, of like just having just scattered pieces of information, and then you yourself have to put it together by mixing and matching it in your head. Throw some random words. I mean, that's kind of what I was doing. Drink.
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. Goes to
Banana.
the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but
I absolutely love Obra Dinn. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I streamed it, I think. It's great. It might be in the VOD still.
he saw me singing one of
Singing.
my shows. Pure
Shows.
chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously, I knew who he was, but
I don't know.
he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the
I
likeness.
mean, I don't know, man. Maybe they actually are twins. That's who.
Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him. After
Maybe they actually are
years.
twins. I mean, I've been working on the theory that they were the same person this
He
entire
didn't tell me
time.
He was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Maybe they are twins. I don't know. Maybe not. See, here's what I'm curious about. Hannah was the one who got pregnant. But it was Eve who drove away. And when she said she got in the crash, she said that she was worried about the baby.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
Like Eve. Chivo? What was it, Chivo? Why does it not pop up? Yeah, that was the apple and a snake.
So I moved out. Got a small bedstead.
Thank you, Sebeth, for
Got my
the
tattoo
continuing
on
tier
occasion.
3 sub. 60 months.
I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
Sing and singing are different
Nothing
things.
else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten.
So
and
Simon fell for
I
Eve.
got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
While already married to Hannah. Okay, that was another Chivo. Why is it so hard to see my Chivo? Goddamn Xbox. He asked me to kiss him romantic. Not really. Sam McCain.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car. I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And Excuse me. Is there a bin?
Wow. And then after that, you said, like, sorry, I'll be all right. It's morning sickness.
Yeah. I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
I mean, if I'm putting the pieces together now, my initial theory of them being the same person might be wrong. The same theory is actually probably entirely wrong. They are two different people. That's the way that she could get an alibi in Glasgow, because Eve was there. While Hannah was the one who killed Simon, because Simon was starting to get into Eve rather than Hannah. I still feel like I have questions.
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm.
Like, got both of you
Say that
present
because it's right
and
twice.
pregnant? So both of you are pregnant.
I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
Unless only Eve was pregnant. Because Hannah got pregnant the first time when Hannah had sex with Simon. And then later on there was a miscarriage, she was infertile, and then later on when Simon met Eve, they then had sex, aka Simon cheated on his wife Hannah with Eve, who looked just like him except she had a wig. There's more wigs. Same clip? Yeah.
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
I mean, they're still too close to be twins, especially, and living in the attic. The whole thing is, Sus. The whole thing is real sus. What am I missing?
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code.
So it was the knock code.
Prisoners of war would use. We tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor.
She did knock.
Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
I don't know how to. Like, she did tap before. We'll tag this as Morse as well. It's not Morse, but still. We now have. Wait, what? Didn't we? Didn't I have another clip somewhere? This is why I put in too many clips.
No.
This one.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to figure out that code. It's too much. But we'll mark these as code. Yeah, I mean, we don't know the knock code. That's the thing, right?
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. There was a conference, something to do with double glazing, in Oxford. Are you sure? What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference?
Meeting up with
I remember calling him.
Eve?
He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar. It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
She was there. She was there in Oxford.
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much. No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me. cute. You must love them very much. What ages are they? Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. Yes, I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back, me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there.
Haunted
We wrote
dollhouse, maybe.
paperwork for them all. Passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there. Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
She doesn't get like a jolt or anything. Maybe you just heard the sound or something. I don't think it was ghosts.
No. I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar. I think she was happy. But I could tell she was thinking, why couldn't it happen to her and Simon? They were the ones with the real life. Why not them?
I feel like I'm running out of things to search for.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time.
This is the original
The
one.
midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. The Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
What happened with Florence? That's what I'm wondering. How did she die?
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean with Simon about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being. When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had.
I wonder if Simon figured it out at that point.
She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
Alright, well, unless a massive twist is coming, I feel like I have the story now. But, you know, there's still tons of clips I haven't seen. And there's still some secret achievements and stuff. Nothing particular about Motherlight. I feel like I have the main story. Did I figure out the hacking game? No. I don't think it's a hacking game as much as it is just a mirror game. Now how it plays, who knows? It's player 1's turn, player 1 is red. Now why does blue have to place it there? Okay, that just turned into something. You take people's pieces. What's the goal, though? To have the most pieces when you're done? I heard it's a mirror game. Obviously, that's very much in theme. I wonder if I can make it draw. So if I place one here, I should make these two blue. Yeah. This will only make this one. This will make 3 blue. Wow. Could make it so we get closer to the end, and then see how much of a difference we have. Oh, there's a lot of blue. We need to start making some reds. so many blues. Okay, blue's gonna destroy this. If you have to watch the whole credits to do this, if you type admin unlock it. Okay, well let's look at the whole credits and see, because we did see the credits. I just skipped it because I was like, I don't think I'm done. So let's watch the credits this time, and we'll see if I get any clues, so that I will have gotten the admin unlock thing legit, so to speak. The quality on the tape's not great, is it? Really not great. Thanks you. You could always try admin random or the unlock command. Okay. So admin unlock is something. And then admin random. We get a random clip. Can I keep doing that? Just keep randomly seeing clips.
A long time. We got married when I was 17.
Okay. We can see every single Eric clip. We had seen them all except this one.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road.
Wait, I feel like I've heard this.
I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked.
You could tell because
I
it's
could
left.
tell
I've
because
heard
the
this
key would
before.
tell
Why was
I
this
tried
marked
to
as
go
not
to the
seen?
left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on a peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there.
Cup of tea.
And read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold.
Went up
I
bedroom,
looked into the
sleep.
living room, nothing.
It's clear
I
he
walked
wasn't
upstairs to
there.
the bedroom.
I have seen that one before. Strange.
Yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight. And what did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
So you both had a baby? I thought you were supposed to basically figure out that it was Eve. Or maybe this is before she admitted there was an Eve, I guess. Yeah.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital. Ask the hospital. It's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Where Eve got pregnant with Simon. But now Hannah is also pregnant, which is why my original theory of they are the same person matches. But earlier, I still think they're the same person. Even though it also makes no sense for them in terms of it being an alibi. And the cheating, you know?
About 8 years back. It was a present to myself.
I wonder if Simon's ever seen both of them at the same time.
I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. You're reaching here. And I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for.
It's just the fact
Why
that
are you
they're
trying to make this
both pregnant with Simon's baby.
Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? An affair? Simon wasn't having an affair. wouldn't say that. It could be passionate. It's just, it was more than that. It wasn't just sex like I had been with the other boys.
No, there was nothing for spill. Nothing new for cold.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
I feel like I searched diary, but I'll search it again. Or maybe for the first time.
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember.
Yeah, we found out what happened to Florence.
Helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, this gives you perspective.
Plus, Eve can read the diary
Everyone's on the
and
same
know what happened
page.
with you. Until you split. Which happened eventually.
Hurt someone? Yes. But everyone thinks that from time to time, right? You just want to lash out. I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him? If you put me on, you've been framed. I want the money. I remember the ticket, of course. I paid it without telling Simon. Didn't want to get told off. And they put points on the license. You must be desperate for leads if you're getting hung up over 6-month-old speeding tickets. Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something, that's why I was speeding. And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
That's been mentioned twice now, February. I think I made a mistake. And I named clips things that they already say. User tags are only useful. I stopped using them eventually. I think they're only useful if I item something that isn't in the clip in the first place. Well, I think Hannah is a lot more controlled. And towards the end, when Eve is open about, oh yeah, I'm being Eve, she doesn't need to hide anything, so she doesn't need to play controlled, you know?
Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective. No. I'm not sure what Strange would be, but he hasn't been acting odd. He's been busy at work, but nothing too stressful.
I mean, normally I would be like, okay, I've got the story. I've got the story. Hannah killed her husband because she figured out that her husband was cheating on her with her identical twin, etc., etc. But how are they both pregnant? Hannah was supposed to be infertile, and then Eve got pregnant. Unless I've missed
Okay.
something.
Sounds weird. I'm not great at making up stories.
Or maybe they're just lucky.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big married. Yes, again, no, this morning. No, I was pregnant. I was all a week reunited with a Is that too much?
Huh. Yeah, there we go. Pregnant by
About
the prince. So now Hannah's saying she was pregnant
Get me out.
when she left, right? And now it's Eve. First date with Simon. We knew that.
Can you imagine?
And yeah, now, and then she tried to get pregnant as well, but couldn't. But this is like one thing. Well, you can't get pregnant because you're already pregnant. Maybe, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, that's when she was wearing a wig. I was still trying to get pregnant, but couldn't. Right. Yeah, the wrong place.
It's about me and this. Rehearsed? You ask me the same question, you'll get the same answer. Is that your evidence? Of course I thought about what happened then. It's all I've thought about. My husband is dead.
Was that the, oh, what happened during your day when she gave identical stories twice, maybe?
Yes.
So it sounds
I
rehearsed?
thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But after the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing. Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy. He took his marriage very seriously.
Well, I swear, maybe Simon thought they were different people. Maybe Simon thought they were the same person, like I do. I'm still confused. I'm still not sure. I wonder how much of it is me just like thinking of a trope. Because I think that's how stories should be. I keep looking for like a split personality where there isn't one, and they are in fact twins. Hannah just want the Hannah but blonde.
What kind of hairs?
Yeah. At this point on, I am fairly sure they are twins. But it's still the pregnancy thing, right? That I'm curious about.
Could I have a cup of tea? A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just one sugar. Maybe a fresh cup of tea? No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water. Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
So sometimes it's just sugar, sometimes it's milk and sugar, sometimes it's no sugar.
Just the one sugar. Thanks. Is that camera recording? Black, no sugar.
See?
Thanks.
I think it's different persons asking for different things, they're different tastes. Yeah. I think I'm just desperate to think they're one person, because to me, that's how I saw the story go at first, and I thought that would be an interesting way to do it. Because to me, the idea of one person hiding in the attic forever and them having to punch each other to get the same bruise, etc., feels weird. But I think there's too much now that speaks of them literally being two different people. So then my only real mystery is how come they are both pregnant? Unless they aren't both pregnant. Only Eve is pregnant. But oh, that's probably it actually. Eve is the only one who's pregnant. but Hannah has to pretend she's pregnant because they're still pretending to be the same person. In at least, even though Eve has her own life, at least when it comes to the interrogation, Hannah has to pretend.
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
Because now there's no tattoo.
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting.
So this is Hannah.
To hear from you, hear from my husband.
Unless, of course, she got the tattoo later on, which I don't think so, because she talked about the tattoo earlier, like way earlier. So, yeah. I mean, there's always the possibility it's a temporary tattoo, but I don't think that's the point, right? Does she have a bruise on her face? Yeah, she does have a bruise on her face.
I haven't been into work.
There.
I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you.
And that checks out with that checks out with the story.
Her story. Then he took out a present, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her.
He hit her.
So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. Bruise? Oh, yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. It hurt like hell.
Nope. Salmon punched you.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
So this is when it's Eve.
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't.
The funny thing is also when it said bruise, she lifted her hand up to feel the right side of her face, but the bruise is on the left side of her face. Hey, Rainy Failure. Cheers for the resub.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came out and fell from the kitchen. Knits.
Yeah. I think that's why it happened. I think Hannah isn't pregnant. Eve is the one who's pregnant. Hannah is just pretending because they're asking both Hannah and Eve. Okay. Now, there's more achievements to get. But to me, that feels like I have to sit through there and do admin random for a while. There's one I think I get a draw in the mirror game. There's one secret achievement still, and then there's the 100% clips. I'm going to Google what to get for the secret achievement. Oh, haha. Here's a strategy you can do, right? You can search for blank, because they're all tagged blank, and then you can delete the blank, and the next time you search for blank, that won't appear. So that's a way to brute force find them all. That's one way if you just want to do it manually, but, you know, that's obviously not as exciting.
Yes.
On 4, you want to type
I
fuck.
speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
How did that happen?
I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
Oh, she just leaned back, yeah. I think that was the secret achievement. The word fuck. Spilled coffee. No, I'm okay.
No, I'm okay. Fuck.
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you. Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? Are you arresting me? No. Fuck off. Open this door. Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
Though I think eventually she does ask for a lawyer when she's admitted some stuff.
Yes, no lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for? I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
Yeah. I think this is the last.
You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that.
I mean, isn't the mirror
Stories.
the murder weapon? Okay. I think I am done. Jesus. Oh, it's different. Oh, shit. Type no, I get like tons, but if I type no, you get the lie detector, you get the full lie detector. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
we don't have the actual
Yes.
questions, so this isn't super useful.
No. No. No.
But then the result of the lie detector was
No.
that they didn't have we don't have the answers, and the only thing she was wrong about in the lie detector was
I think so.
her
I
name.
mean, to get into our garden, we'd have to climb through other gardens. All the gardens back onto each other, so you'd have to climb over 1, 2, 3 gardens to get to ours. I mean, did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anyone come and go? An intruder?
All right. The rest would just. I feel like I have the story now. The rest would just find every little last one achievement, which whatever. That seems uninteresting. So what I want to do is find the chronological version, and I want to watch it. Oh wow, that's long. I thought like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. It can't be that long. It's like like 2 hours long. Oh, okay. The tap code is a thing, actually. Sorry, I'm Googling now, so I'm reading out. The tap code, you can't figure out the tap code. She says, "Bye, Hannah," in one of them, and then she says, "Love you," in the other. I don't know. All of these mentions of reflections and mirrors. I don't know. It's not Morse code. They mentioned it. It's called the knock code or the tap code, right? Basically, it's a 5x5 grid, and you basically type out. You say like row column for a letter, and then row column for another letter. So it's like 1, 1, 2, 3. That's like, oh, on the first row it's talking about, so that would be like C, and then it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's like, oh, on the fourth row the third letter, and so on. And you have to basically know where it is at the top of your head. So, I mean, in the English alphabet, there's 26 letters, so a 5x5 wouldn't work. But, well, I mean, except if you just skip one of the letters, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Thanks. NNAH.
So is this just? Oh, I thought.
It's Pandrek. That's not.
Oh, someone's doing it manually. Okay, that's why it takes so long. Hold on, let me find a better version. Like, it's gonna be apparently hella wrong anyway, but I kind of want to watch it. See if we miss anything, you know?
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar.
What?
Sweet enough
Subtitles?
as it is.
You have to have
My
auto
name's
subtitles.
Hannah. Hannah. It's Pandrek. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea.
Can I find one with
Sorry.
subtitles, maybe? Maybe better. No, not really. All right, well, we'll watch this one then.
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Symmetrical. Smith. I live at. I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street. Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows.
So this is the
all kinds of
18th.
glass. Simon does
Yeah,
more
this is gonna be
special
like
work.
1.5 hours,
Mirror
by the way.
making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things. A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves
Might
it.
speed that up a bit.
I mean, not
if I
that there's
set,
anything wrong with
1.5
ginger hair.
speed.
I bought a photo. It's a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have. No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV. He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock. That's our local. They said
Aaron,
they'd seen
maybe
on
this is a
Friday
bit
night, but not
much.
since.
Maybe
Still
watching the
spicy
entire
now.
one on stream,
It's
it
not
maybe is a
at all.
little bit much.
Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So
I feel like I've got
the
the story.
His parents haven't heard anything either.
There's gonna be like a few random
It's the
clips
Rockington
I haven't
Arms,
seen.
The Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there.
I don't know if I
Simon
want to
has
sit
to
here for like,
And the Barney Band
I don't know,
sometimes.
1.5 hours. Maybe it's a
Peter
bit
said
much.
Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Yeah, I think we'll stop it there. I might read up on it, because I think it's pretty cool and pretty interesting. And obviously, if you guys want to watch the video, it's out there. Just search like Her Story Chronological. Yeah, that's good. That was really good. I really enjoyed that game. Tricky finding out where to go about everything, you know. We figured out most of everything. Are you planning on playing the sequel, Telling Lies? Yeah, at some point, I think. Because I heard that was good too. But I enjoyed this. I enjoyed figuring out what happened. I mean, I'm still part of my mind is like, aha, they're the same person, but there's so much saying that they aren't. So will you wear wigs? What is that? What will you wear wigs? What does that mean? Will you wear wigs on YouTube? Okay. Oh, that one. I've seen that one before. I just didn't remember the exact quote. Yeah, I've seen that one. It's pretty funny. All right. That's going to be it for me today then. I hope you enjoyed the game. I did. I don't know if it was fun watching me figure stuff out, but I enjoyed doing it. See you on Thursday for Stardew, and then Friday for more We Were Here Forever with Bryony. Have a lovely time, everyone. And don't murder. Don't murder anyone. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.